In this lesson we're going to look at the specific heat capacity, or what is sometimes called simply the specific heat of a substance. So you remember in the previous lesson we looked at the thermal capacity. Let's just revisit that a minute. And we said that the thermal capacity is a property of the object. It's an external property. That's to say, you can look at it as the heat required to raise the temperature of the object by 1 degree Celsius. Or you could look at it like this. It's the amount of heat that an object can store for every 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin increase in temperature. Now, just looking at this diagram again, we've got two containers of water. One is clearly a lot larger than the other, and just on observation you can clearly see that in order to raise the temperature of object A, of beaker A, by 1 degree Celsius, that will require far more heat. So we can say that object A has a much greater thermal capacity than object B. And so we can talk about the thermal capacity of either of these objects as being the heat that's transferred to them divided by the resulting change in temperature. Now, specific heat is different from the thermal capacity. The specific heat capacity really refers to the substance or the material rather than the object itself. Okay, so we can say that the specific heat capacity is the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of a substance by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, and we can write this statement as an equation. Therefore, we can say that again that the specific heat capacity, which is given the symbol C, is the heat required to raise 1 kilogram, that's the mass there, of a substance by a temperature of 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so this delta T means change in temperature, and M is always measured in kilograms. Now, you remember again that the thermal capacity of an object is the heat transferred to it divided by the change in temperature. Okay, so remember that. Then going back to the specific heat equation, here we have the heat transferred to the object divided by delta T, so Q divided by delta T is the thermal capacity of the object. Okay, so we can rewrite this Q divided by delta T as the thermal capacity. So that tells us that the specific heat of an object made from a particular substance is equal to its thermal capacity divided by its mass. Okay, so in the next lesson we're going to use this formula to have a look at some problems related to specific heat, and we're going to see that different materials have different specific heat capacities.